Hey gang, it's me, Dr. Steve. Well, it's happening. Silicon Valley really seems to be imploding right before our very eyes. Now Meta, the parent company of Facebook, is announcing that they're slashing jobs again. They're cutting another 10,000 jobs in addition to their layoffs just a couple of months back. We're going to see what's really going on here and discover why this woke implosion is just beginning. You're not going to want to miss this. It's just been announced that Meta, the parent company of Facebook and Instagram, plans to lay off 10,000 more employees and close about 5,000 job openings that have not yet been filled. This is on top of the massive job losses back in November when Meta announced they were laying off 11,000 employees and cutting their workforce by 13%. This is in response to shortfalls in revenue. With the latest announcement of layoffs, Meta's workforce will be reduced by a total of over 25%. It's a stunning contraction in a company that was once considered unrivaled in its growth. Zero Hedge is reporting that Meta's downsizing comes as its social media platforms, including Instagram and WhatsApp, have been hit with a slowdown in advertising revenue, leading to the first ever annual sales decline in 2022. We first reported on things looking rather bleak for Facebook, or Meta, its parent company, back in November. If you recall then, Meta stock absolutely plummeted. It was so bad that only 4 stocks in the whole of the S&P 500 were performing worse than Meta. In a single year, Meta lost a colossal 2/3 of its market value. As it turns out, millions upon millions of users in the United States and Canada have closed their accounts and dumped Facebook. In fact, Gen Zers and millennials barely even acknowledge its existence. And as a result, advertisers took their business elsewhere and Meta's revenue evaporated. And so, needless to say, they've begun closing offices. They announced that they've terminated their lease for one of their Manhattan offices. Other offices are shrinking as they transition to hybrid work from home. And to top it all off, to add insult to injury, back in November, Mark Zuckerberg ended up falling off the Forbes top 10 list of richest Americans. Well, astonishingly, as of today, things have gotten even worse for the ultra-woke Meta, and that seems to be the recurring refrain here. Everything woke turns to dung, as we say in our King James English. And ironically, even left-wing media has been seeing this degeneration within Facebook for some time now. There have been a number of articles from the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, that have come out of late detailing the myriad of ways in which Facebook really is crumbling actually from within. I'm sure you remember several months back, a number of internal Facebook documents were anonymously leaked to the Wall Street Journal that detailed and described a number of controversial practices that Facebook executives were knowingly engaging in, such as disregarding their own research into the harms of Instagram, particularly for young girls, or granting a form of whitelisted favoritism to high-profile left-wing celebrities, politicians, and organizations that were granted a certain level of immunity from being flagged for violating their TOS, as well as boosting incendiary content to increase their ad revenue. They've been called the Facebook Files, and they were bombshell revelations just how poisonous Facebook was internally. And that was the conclusion of none other than the New York Times. In a piece on the whole Facebook controversy, the Times concluded that the best way of understanding all of these leaks and what they entailed, what they detailed, is that Facebook is in major trouble. The reason Facebook is so prone to prey on young girls' body image and ignore their own research is not because they're indifferent. It's not because they're so big and powerful that they don't care. It was because they were so utterly desperate. It's because Facebook was in such trouble. Zuckerberg is really falling here. His company really is on the verge of collapsing into irrelevance. But why? Why is Meta falling apart like this? Well, it actually points to a huge development that's helping to usher in a far more conservative age. You're going to absolutely love this. But first, for you patriot business owners out there, you have got to meet my good friend, Josh Zaglowski, co-founder of ERC Specialists. He has an amazing payroll protection company exclusively dedicated to understanding and maximizing what's called the CARES Act Employee Retention Credit. If you're a small business owner looking to get up to $26,000 per employee back from bumbling Biden, click on that link in the description below right now to see if you qualify today. It's an absolutely amazing opportunity. What we have to realize here is that Meta is in many respects experiencing the effects of a phenomenon known as Techlash, which involves an increasing animus and worldwide hostility towards big tech oligarchs such as Facebook. We have polling that shows a dramatic decline in approval of big tech companies among users. So, for example, Gallup's tracking of public sentiment towards big tech found that support for the big tech giants fell from a high of 60% back in 2015 down to just 43% approval in 2019. But the latest Gallup poll taken in 2021 found that public approval of big tech fell even further, from 46% in 2020 to just 34% in 2019. 50% of those polled, nearly 60%, want more government regulation of big tech companies, up 9 points from 2019. So needless to say, Techlash is growing by the day. There is definite animus sweltering among the populace against big tech oligarchs like Zuckerberg. And we're starting to see this manifest in imploding usership and, as a consequence, imploding advertising revenue. This, I would argue, this is what makes what Elon Musk has been doing with Twitter so significant. He sees a serious need to shake up big tech and bring a whole different business model, one that's rooted in free speech, to the fore here, and is being rewarded for it. Whereas Meta and Facebook appear to be suffering the ire of disgruntled former users, an ire that may indeed spell the end of woke big tech once and for all. As always, make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. You'll definitely want to check out my latest video on all GOP 2024 presidential candidates weighing in on their view on Ukraine, and the answers are amazing. You're not going to want to miss this. So make sure to click on the link, and I'll see you over there. God bless.